Now, being from DC, you started out in go-go, right?
Yeah, for sure. Early, like 11 years old.
Mm. So how do you start out in go-go? Do you learn to play an instrument?
I was
or?
going to the clubs, like that's the culture. So it was like if you didn't go to the go-go, you wasn't cool. And I was always the young cat looking up to the older cats, so just in the mix of them.
Right.
So I was outside early. Like
That shit a vibe.
Yeah,
that shit
it's
a vibe.
It's a big vibe, man.
Hard to
big
describe too.
On,
you know what I'm saying? Anybody who ain't never been to the DC area and experience, you know what I'm saying, a go-go turn up, man, you need to get it in your life, bro, because that shit is, like no other. So you went from there, and at what point in your life did you shift or transition into,
when I went to juvenile, they tried to give me juvenile life, and then I was like, man, I got to do something better with myself. And my uncle was rapping, so I was like, shit, man, I'm a rap. And then I started writing, and when I came home, put it on wax, the city backed me 100%.
Right. So you just said at juvenile, you almost got hit with an L.
Mm-hmm.
For what?
For robberies, attempts, whatever, like
right.
all types of stupid nonsense.
Now tell me, how did you actually commit yourself to change? You know what I mean? Because I think that's what a lot of young people need to understand. Like, at what point, and how does that look? How does it feel?
It feels great. It's amazing because I felt like I always had a purpose for the things that I did.
Mm-hmm.
Even the crimes that I was committing, it was for the better.
Right.
You feel me? Like, it was always for my greater good. So when I had to do this, I knew, like, man, once I put my mind to it, it was going to work out because, I was determined.
Right. Now, when I say commit yourself to change, I'm talking about, like, every man, I don't care what walk of life you come from, you have a moment where you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, hey, man, it's it for this.
Yeah.
And it ain't gonna change until you change. But a lot of time at least when I speak to young cats, they feel like that's like, that look like they're putting on the sucker
like
suit.
A sucker look.
Yeah. And I'm trying to, I want them to hear it from you being in those circumstances. Of course, they feel like I'm so far gone, they ain't got to listen to it from me. But
nah, they listening. Trust me, they listening.
But I'm saying, like, how does that feel? How do you handle that like a G and still, don't sacrifice yourself in doing it?
Because you gotta always be true to yourself and not to others, like you gotta be a leader and not a follower, and that's always one thing that I've been from a youngin' to now. So it's like it ain't never been what nobody think about me,
right.
Like, and that's a lot of people problem, and what you trying to describe.
Right.
They worried about what someone gonna think.
This is true. I think, and that shows a lot of growth because a lot of us, we have confidence in the things that we familiar with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, man, I found, man, even when I was coming up, man, a lot of my partners, all of them couldn't make it because they didn't want to leave the block. And it ain't that they didn't want to leave the block because they were scared of something that's on the other side of the block. They just wanted to be where they were exactly, where people know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where folk know, and they have a certain respect level there, and they don't want to step outside of that because it's of discomfort to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did you kind of adjust to that feeling, getting in the game?
I'm still adjusting because I'm kind of
you forever will be.
Out. Yeah,
you forever will be.
My people is tied in, my family, like my friends, everything around me. It's like I'm all they got, like I'm what they banking on. So I still have those problems, but like I said, I try to motivate them to get on this side of the fence because they see, like everybody want to be a rapper now. The biggest gangsters, the killers, whoever. Like it's like, like it's a whole nother world over here. Like we already done all of that, like now it's time to get some money, live life.